The views and opinions expressed by the On the Spot with David Rodgers show are solely based on the show's hosts, guests, and viewers. We are solely responsible for all show content in its entirety and does not necessarily reflect the opinions of any sponsors in any way. These broadcasts are presented and made public by the On the Spot with David Rodgers team in the hope that it'll be entertaining and informative to our viewers and listening audience.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, it's 7 o'clock and time for On the Spot with David Rodgers. And now, here he is, Mr. Friday Night, the show pony himself, the man, the dream, the legendary David Rodgers.
Good afternoon, good Tuesday afternoon, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is David Rodgers, and you are tuning in to On the Spot with David Rodgers. Tonight, we have a great show, man. David, we missed last week, but that's okay, because this week we've got a lot to talk about. And last week we were supposed to have a couple of gentlemen that was going to join us as special guests, but they're here tonight. We're going to talk to Gary Wallace and Hunter Cochran about, hey, David, how about this? Bradford Cowboy football. Remember that? You remember that?
Football's back.
Football is going to be back, baby. We were just sitting there talking about it before the show. Football is back, and we're going to talk to them. And then after that, Dave, I've got a lot of things to discuss, man. A lot of things going on, not just in our county and in our region, our state, but a lot of stuff going on nationally and a lot of stuff going on all over the world. And we're going to get into that here in just a little bit. Again, welcome into On the Spot with David Rodgers. I'm your creator and host, David Rodgers, right alongside my tag team partner tonight. He is always here. He produces and directs the show. He is the master of all disasters. You know what? You know that, Dave? You're the master of all disasters.
Oh, man.
You're the king of Sting. You're the king of Sting. And you're the dancing destroyer. He is Dave Holland. Say hello, everybody. Today.
Hello, everybody.
Yes, sir. Got to get you in there. No Byron Bagwell tonight, as he's fulfilling a work commitment. No Austin Stevens tonight, as he's got some issues going on back at his house. So we're going to go ahead and do the show, Dave, as we have for the last several weeks. A little bit solo, but hey, we'll have everybody back hopefully here next week. But tonight, like I said, we're going to open up the show as we always do, and then we're going to bring in our guests, and we're going to talk Bradford County football, David, youth football, coming back. We need it back, and we're going to have Gary Wallace, the commissioner of that league, and of course Hunter Cochran, one of the coaches of that league as well. Awesome. They're going to join us, and then we're going to get into some other things as well. So, again, welcome in. Let's get the show started as we always do with a prayer, our pledge, and our patriotic quote of the night. Let us go into prayer. Our righteous Heavenly Father, let us once thank again for a wonderful and glorious day, dear Lord. Thank you for this time that we have with our viewers and our brotherhood here, dear Lord, as we bring this show to anybody that's interested in watching it, dear Lord, and they take whatever information that we give, dear Lord, and they put it in their minds and in their hearts and do what they feel that they need to do with that, dear Lord. Thank you for letting us live in the greatest country in the world today, the most powerful and the most freest country in the world today, the United States of America, dear Lord. Yes, we have our own issues and our own problems, but I think we have the right government and government officials, at least part, dear Lord, that can take us to better and bigger things, dear Lord. Just keep a hedge of protection over them. Keep your hand of guidance on them, dear Lord, as they're making many and multiple decisions that affects our livelihood each and every day. Thank you for our armed forces, every woman and man that serves in our armed forces today, dear Lord. They are the greatest fighting force in the world today. Please keep a hedge of protection over them and bring them back safely home to their families as they're fighting domestic and international terrorism, dear Lord, and anything that wants to put harm to us, dear Lord. Thank you for our first responders, each and every one of those men and women that go out and serve each and every day and night, dear Lord, so that we can feel safe in our homes each and every night. And if there is an issue or problem, that they're just a phone call away and they'll be there to give us a guiding hand. Thank you, dear Lord, for the food that we receive each and every day as it goes to nerves from our bodies and our bodies to thy service. Thank you for every American today, dear Lord, that's out in the American workforce, dear Lord. You know their needs. You know what they need to do to make this country thrive again. any spoken or unspoken prayer requests, dear Lord, you touch each and every one of them as you know their needs and what is on their mind and on their hearts, dear Lord. Put that guiding and comfort hand on them, dear Lord, and guide them through whatever issues that may be ailing them. Again, thank you for this time. Thank you for this evening. Thank you for the rest of the week that you're going to give us. And we ask for these things in your Son's name, Jesus Christ. And the congregation says, Amen. All right, let us stand, Dave. And I'm going to ask you, David, to lead us in the pledge.
All right.
All right.
I pledge
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Amen. All right, all right, all right. Welcome into On the Spot with David Rodgers. We just opened up the show. I am your host, David Rodgers, right along with the Dancing Destroyer himself, Super Dave Holland. No Byron Bagwell tonight and no Austin Stevens tonight. But we're going to continue on with the show, David, as we got a great show planned tonight, as we've talked about. Got some great guests on tonight, as we'll have Gary Wallace and Hunter Cochran joining us to talk a little bit about youth football, David, which is very important. You know, it's, to me, I played youth football, played middle school football, which back then we called junior high football, you know, junior high football. And actually, for me, and I know it's a little bit different now, when in junior high, it was 7th, 8th, and 9th back then, not 6th, 7th, and 8th. It was 7th, 8th, and 9th. So I was actually, working toward high school credits in my 9th grade year, but I was playing junior high football. And then 10th, 11th, and 12th back in the day was actually high school football. So, but that's all changed now as they've reclassified that a little bit. Kindergarten through 5th grade is now elementary, 6th, 7th, and 8th is middle school, and of course 9th through 12th is high school. So I don't know, was you set up that same way, or was your, I know up north it may have been a little different. I played down in the south, so.
6th, 7th, and 8th.
Okay.
And I couldn't wait to get into high school to play 9, 10, 11, and 12.
So you were set up like it is sort of now.
Yeah.
So your middle school, did y'all call it middle school or did you call it junior high? You called it
6,
middle
7,
school?
and 8.
Wow. So, yeah, it's just set up a little bit differently up north. I played my my football and all my sports in the state of Mississippi. We're backwards anyway. So, no, I'm only kidding, man.
I'm from up north, too.
Yeah, you're from
Ohio.
Yeah,
So
there you go.
them damn...
Never mind. I ain't going to say it, David. I ain't going to get ridiculed here tonight. But, so, it was very instrumental in what I did and how I grew up. Yes, you learn how to play football, but the coaches that I was surrounded by, man, they instilled life skills into me as well. Not only did they teach you football, they taught you right from wrong. They taught you to play as a team. They taught you how to better yourself and your skills. You know what I'm saying? So it's just not about the X's and O's and the Jimmies and Joes, as we say in the business and in the football world, but it's about teaching these young men and women, because they're cheerleaders as well. Mm-hmm. There's cheerleaders as well.
Coach Holcomb was not just a coach. He was also
a mentor.
the mentor.
He was the mentor.
He got into your personal life, and if you needed help, he was right there for us.
Yeah, and that's exactly right. And I've known Gary for a while now, and every chance we get, we talk football and other things. And I know one thing that Gary is, and he's a mentor. He wants to see, yes, he wants to coach football, and he wants to do the X's and O's and put the Jimmies and Joes where they need to be. But he's also going to teach these young men and women, you know what I'm saying, life skills, things that they need to do, how to play as a team, how to work as a team, and the fundamentals of football, yes, but also the fundamentals of life as well. So we're going to talk a little bit about that here in just a little bit. But again, welcome into the show. Great show, action-packed tonight, David. I wish we could have got him on last week, but a couple of us was a little bit under the weather. I know that Byron is not feeling exactly 100%. So, he's out there working and trying to battle the sinus stuff that's going around. The pollen actually came real early this year. It came early February, usually, because it bothers me too. And usually it comes in March, maybe start of April. My goodness, man. It came February, and I think everybody's gotten a little bit of it. Every time I turn around, somebody's got a sinus infection. Somebody's not feeling good. Somebody's got a nasty headache. And I tell you, that yellow stuff out there that you see on your cars every morning, that stuff is for real, and especially if you're allergic to pollen. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
You get the hay fevers and, like I said, the sinus infections. So it really... it really just got to take care of yourself. And if you're allergic, just start taking some allergy medicines. Anything over the counter, if you just start taking that daily, it will definitely work. So anyway, we're going to go ahead and get the show started again with our guest. And David, how about we do this, David? I don't have a patriotic quote of the night tonight because I didn't get a chance to get with Byron because I thought he was going to be here and we was going to have one. But I can tell you this. Let's take a commercial break, and we'll bring our guest on, and we'll get right into the conversation of Bradford Cowboy football here in Bradford County. We'll be right back after these commercial breaks. Live here in the studio, right here at Harry Business, in the back of Harry Business. This is where our studio is. You are tuning into On the Spot with David Rodgers. We are the weekly podcast, Facebook live podcast. Also going to be on YouTube, and I'll explain that a little bit later. But anyway, as you see right here, before we went to commercial break, I was sitting here solo, but now I've got the guys that we're going to be interviewing tonight. First, let me introduce to my left right here, maybe to your right. He is the commissioner of the Bradford Cowboys, a Youth Athletic Association, I guess, Mr. Gary Wallace. And one of his coaches right here to my right is Mr. Hunter Cochran. He played football for the Tornadoes, so he knows all about football, but he's going to be one of the coaches that is going to be helping Gary out. Gentlemen, welcome in.
Hello.
Yeah, it's been a little bit. When was the last time you was here?
It's been a while.
Been over a year?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah, it's probably closer to 2 years, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because I want to say Tyler was probably a freshman, wasn't he?
He was.
He was. I think he was just becoming a freshman, and of course now he's a sophomore, getting ready to go into his junior year.
Yes,
he plays football as well, and like I said, Hunter played on this year's team, right, Hunter?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, what'd you play?
Left and right guard.
Left and right guard. So he's been a part of these good Tornado football teams. 36-5, right, over the last 3.5 years. 36-5, sound about right, Gary?
That's about right.
Sound about right. I think that's what he said over at the banquet the other night. 36-5. Great run for our big Bradford Tornadoes. But now we're going to be talking little Tornadoes, but they're called the Cowboys, right?
Future Tornadoes.
There you go. Future Tornadoes through the Cowboy symbol.
That's it.
Okay. So bringing it back. First and foremost, tell everybody that don't know you, and I know you've been on here before, tell them who you are, what you do, type thing, just a little bit background about yourself.
Right. I'm Gary Wallace, Commissioner of Bradford Cowboys Athletic Association. We're a youth sports organization. We try to bring the kids in, give them something to do after school, keep them out of trouble. It's actually a really good program. We've got a lot of new people coming in, a lot of new rules that have structured this year, trying to get everything in line like it's supposed to be. The organization's been around forever. A lot of people know a lot of the coaches that have been there, and a lot of people are still there. They're just working more in the backgrounds than they are, out front. But we're actually trying to do a spring season this year.
Okay.
It starts the 29th of March is our jamboree.
Okay.
We're trying to get as many kids in between the 6 and 12 as we can before March 21st. Right now we're doing pretty good with the 12, and it's $50 registration. I mean, that includes we issue pads, helmets. You know, if you didn't play last year, you know, we're giving you the uniform to wear this year. We're kind of restructuring it, trying to bring it back. We've been doing fundraisers. A lot of people in communities helped out a lot. We've done really good the last two. And I'm trying to bring new, younger coaches in. You know, these guys from the high school that's, you know, got a little extra time on their hands, and get them in and show the kids what they can do, where they can go. Because a lot of these kids, you know, they hang out at the games. Right. And they watch these guys play, but they don't know who they are. They don't see their faces. They don't, you know, and they come to practice like with Hunter, you know. I can say, yeah, he's a starter, a senior this year. He played, you know, right guard. He was, oh, yeah, you know, or tell them that, you know, that's number 66.
66, right.
You know, and they go, oh, yeah, I know who he is, you know, and then it intrigues them a little more to come out and want to play.
Right.
And that's the biggest thing. And we're actually, what we're doing is anybody that signs up for spring ball, the fall registration is $150.
Right.
And we're actually going to roll straight from spring straight into fall.
Okay.
Try to keep the kids there, keep them going, keep them worked out, you know. And what we're doing is that $50 that you pay for spring, we're knocking off your fall registration.
There you go.
So it's only $100 to register instead of $150.
Well, that's not a bad deal right there. I do want to ask you something. You know, and I was talking to Hunter a little bit before you pulled up, and maybe I've been out of touch a little bit. So the Bradford Cowboys have been playing consistently. Or did the league close? Or
no.
Okay, so because and correct me if I'm wrong here. I thought that they were the Tornadoes at one time. Wasn't everything Tornadoes? And
there was two teams. There was the Cowboys and the Mini Tornadoes.
Okay.
And the Mini Tornadoes shut down because of some things that had happened.
Okay.
Now I'm not even going to get into that because I don't know the whole story on none of it.
No, right.
But the Cowboys have been around for years. I mean, I think they've changed names once or twice throughout the last probably 30, 40 years.
Right.
You know, and it's just an organization. A lot of people from Bradford have grown up playing ball for the Cowboys.
Right.
And that's what we're trying to do, you know, is get these kids out, let these parents see that we're still the same organization that we've always been.
Right.
Sometimes you veer a little, no matter what you're doing, you know, no matter what it is. Or you don't see something the right way, or word of mouth will hurt an organization horribly.
Yes, it will.
You know, and that's one thing I tell all the parents, especially this year. You know, I'm over all the coaches and, you know, making sure the games go like they're supposed to and everything else. And I've tried to tell all the parents, you know, we're going to have structure. We're going to do it a certain way, you know, to where we're rebuilding the way they see things.
Right.
Because parents, you know, they get somebody says a bad thing, and then that person tells two people, and then they tell three people, and then they tell two more people. By then, you know, everybody's like, oh, I'm not going over there. Well, that's what we're trying to stop and get away from.
This is a bad piece of equipment,
yes, it
too.
is. Yes,
Especially with all the social media sites.
Facebook.
I mean, the Facebook, Bradford County word of mouth, TikTok, X, all that stuff. You can post whatever you want to on there, and you know, like you're saying, degrading comments, whatever those kind of. I mean, there's good comments out there too sometimes, but I mean, if they want to blast you. They're going they're going to, and they're going to do it right here.
Yes, they are.
They're not going to come to you personally. They're going to do it right here, or if they want to blast Hunter, they're going to do it right here. And now you got to defend your position on, you know, what exactly happened. There's always two sides to a story. We all know that. You know, so I really hate this, and this is one of the subjects that I was going to get into, and you gentlemen are more than glad to stick around once we get done with this interview if you want to hear what I got to say about some other things. But, yeah, this thing right here is poison because it can get out that quick. Back in mine and Dave's day, and probably in yours a little bit, you're not that much. You're not. You're 42?
42. I'll be 43.
Okay, I'm 20 years older than you. Me and Dave's about 20 years older than you. But, I mean, you know, you grew up in a time where times were starting to change and get into this. But me and Dave, you know, we were talking about All-Americans one day. You know, Now you know about every All-American. You can get it quick. Back then, me and Dave would have to catch it through the news or the newspaper or some television news channel. You know, ESPN has been around since 1980. So that's the year I graduated in, and a long time ago, by the way. Yeah, that just shows you how old I am. Yeah, you can go ahead and call me Grandpa. But anyway, you know, it took a while to figure out who is what, who's going where, you know, who's a five-star. We didn't even have that back then, you know what I mean? It was basically you're an All-American, but now you've got stars. You can post it real quick, and it's just so much information here. And I don't want to get off the subject we're talking about, but I understand what you're saying. Right. It's good in a way because you can get your information out about the Cowboys and your association, but it's also bad because, oh, Gary didn't do this. Yep, Gary promised this. Yep. Gary's going to do this or whatever. Bip, 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 bip. Boom. Bradford County word of mouth. Now Gary is either a good guy or a bad guy, and generally when they post, it's usually something bad.
It is.
And I hate it, and I hate it for anybody now because you haven't even heard the other side of the story yet. He hadn't even had a chance to defend his position.
And there's people that'll comment on that thinking one thing, and then other people correcting them thinking the other thing.
Correct. Yeah, there may be some people that are bashing him, and there may be some people that are praising him. Yeah. You got the story wrong. So then that's what he was saying about this turmoil coming in. But I understand what you're saying about this. But so the Cowboys have been around for a while then.
For a long time.
So I know that my daughter, my oldest daughter, which is now 35, she just turned 35 a week ago, Kristen, she started off with the Bradford Cowboys.
Okay.
Dana and Braxton and all those guys. Yep. Dana was actually her cheerleading coach, and Braxton was out there doing things, and we was part of the organization. Me and my wife was part of the organization for a while, and we did different things, you know, give us concessions, you know, all the stuff that goes into it. But that's where she got her start off at as being a cheerleader, and then my youngest daughter too got into it a little bit. But, you know, so I knew they've been around a long, long time. And I just, maybe it's because, maybe it's just out of touch a little bit. Maybe I just wasn't paying attention all that much. But, man, it just seems like it wasn't as prevalent as it was bunches of years ago. And then, you know, you get into this time frame, and it's sort of, Gary, acted like it slipped off a little bit.
It has. And the thing with that is, and that was before my time, and I know what you're speaking about.
Yeah.
You had the Cowboys. There was two groups, basically, and they split from the Cowboys. And then one started a team, and then the other had a team.
Yeah.
So the county was fighting for two teams.
And
that's kind of where everything slipped out, because you had this team over here, had a few kids, this team over here. And like I said, that was all before my time, so I don't know exactly what happened.
Right.
But I can tell you, I started Tyler out there when he was 5. He's 16 now.
Right.
So he played all the way through till he aged out.
Mm-hmm.
And I've watched I guarantee you probably 11 to 15 of the kids that have moved up through JV this past year and the year before, and that'll be moving up to varsity, I have coached out at the Cowboys.
You know, we were just talking about Bradford, and Hunter can get in on this a little bit. By the way, this is Hunter Cochran. He's going to be one of the coaches. What age group are you going to coach at? Do you know yet?
He'll be with the 10 if we get him.
Okay.
10.
10, okay. Yep. So he's going to be 10 to 12, or is it just 10?
Well, it's what it is we're broke down into groups. You have a 6U, which is 5 and 6.
Okay.
You have an 8U, which is 7 and 8.
Okay.
You have a 10U, which is 9 and 10, and then a 12U, which is 11 and 12.
Okay.
We can run a 14U team if the kids show up. We have to have a minimum of 14 kids, because what we're doing is spring ball, and it's 8 on 8.
Okay.
It's not 11-man football.
Not, okay.
And it's a much faster paced, it's a good way to start your kids, but in the same sense, you're teaching them one way, and then when you roll into the fall, you got to go back to that 11-man mind frame.
Right.
And it's fun because it's so fast. Right. Everybody gets involved. I don't care if you're the slowest kid on the team. If I can help it, you're going to throw the ball in a game.
Right.
You know, you might not be every game, but
Right.
you're going to at least once. If you come and say, hey, coach, I want to run the ball. Okay, I'm going to give you the ball.
Right.
You know, and that's because, like I tell them at practice, and I've told Hunter this, and Tyler's helping us out, and, you know, we got some other good coaches. I tell the kids all the time, I tell them, if you take the kids and you have fun with them, it keeps them involved in the sport. If you go out and hound on them right from the word go at 6, 7, 8 years old,
Right.
it deters a kid away.
I agree.
You know, you got to bring them in and teach them and make it fun. But the whole objective is, like you said earlier, is to teach them life skills and to teach them how to be part of a team and how to be, you know, you're turning them into young men and women is what you're doing. I've coached females and I've coached males.
Yeah.
And we're open for anybody. They want to come out and play, come out and play.
As for you, did you come up through the ranks of Bradford Cowboy football, or did you get a little different start? Are you actually from here? Tell everybody a little bit about yourself.
So I moved into Bradford maybe 10 years ago,
Okay.
and I wasn't really big on football. Then I transferred over to Northside Christian Academy.
Okay.
Played for them as a wide receiver in the corner. Then COVID year, 8th grade, I moved over to Bradford. Started playing football for them, and then it was history from there.
So where did you actually play your youth football? Did you not really play youth football? You just got interested, 7th, 8th grade?
Well, I got interested in my 5th grade year.
Okay.
And then went to 6th grade.
Okay.
Didn't make the cut.
Okay.
7th grade rolled around. Like I said, played Northside.
Right.
Couldn't play spring because of COVID. Went to 8th grade. Worked my butt off during the summer. Got on the roster.
Oh.
Played the whole 8th grade year. That was a second string, but, I mean, I played a lot.
You played a lot, right?
And then 9th grade rolled around. Started playing JV all the way up to probably my 11th grade year.
Right.
And then this past season started on the offensive line for the Tornadoes. And now I'm here coaching.
So you've been around for the heydays that we were just talking about.
Yep.
We're talking about the Tornadoes going 36-5 over the last 3+ years, losing to only 3 teams. They lost to Live Oak one time. They lost to Newberry twice and Cocoa twice. That's the only teams that's beat them in the last 3.5 years. You say, how does that happen? Well, twice to Newberry, twice to Cocoa, and then once to Live Oak. And, I sit there, y'all know I'm the radio voice for the Tornadoes, and I've been to every game since 2015 when I took over for Terry Vaughn. And by the way, really good commentator. He does a fantastic job. He's over at Florida State now doing some baseball and some softball and doing some stadium announcing. And he lives over in Thomasville. So, Terry, if you're listening in, you are the best brother. I love you. And I learned everything that I know from you, that's for sure. But, you look at this this run, and I see as kids going to the next level, Gary, and they talk about their past. And I've heard all of them, Khalil, several of them say, I got my start with the Bradford Cowboys.
You've got a lot of kids, and that's what I'm saying. Your JV team this past year, a lot of your starting kids come up through the Cowboys.
Right.
And that's what you got coming up to play this next season.
Right.
And they have just as much talent as the team this past season, and that's, I'm a little biased.
No, of course you are.
I'm allowed
Of
to
course,
be.
you sure are. Yeah.
And but there's a lot of talent in Bradford.
Yep.
And that's the thing. We just have to develop it. You got to keep your hometown kids here.
Yep.
You got to develop them, and you got to play them, no matter where they are, from Little League through their senior year at high school. If they've got the talent, play them. If they don't have the talent, at least give them a chance.
Yep.
And that's anywhere. You can break a kid quick.
Yep.
I've seen it done. I've seen kids walk off a football field because they just didn't want to deal with it no more. And I hate to see that, and it hurts me.
Well, and I think that's what you're trying to instill at a young age is you're going to run into adversity no matter what it is. You're going to run into adversity. I'm sure Hunter can sit here and tell you, and with me and you we'll go to every football game because your son plays, and, I call every football game. And there's times I know that y'all are facing adversity going, man, what else can we do? What else can we do? What else can we do? And sometimes it's nothing. Sometimes, man, the other team, you gotta tip the cap, man, to the other team. Sometimes you throw it in and say, hey, man, y'all got us, But you got to stay the course, and that's what you were saying. You got to stay the course. Remember what the coaches down when you was a little guy. The coach told me, man, hey, it'll come. It's gonna happen. You know what I'm saying? And I'm sure that's helped you, through this run that y'all had, and I know you're going to miss it a lot for sure. I can see it on your face, and we talked about it a little bit. Yeah, and you only get one shot at this thing, man, and I think y'all done a heck of a job. And like Gary was saying, it starts with the coaches down at the little league, if you want to call it. I like to call it, the Bradford Cowboys Athletic Association, on into middle school, and then to JV, and as Gary was saying, carrying it over to the varsity. And I don't know what this team is going to look like. I do know what the JV is all about, and I do know there's players that's here and there that's going to be here, and this team, barring any kind of major injuries, should be pretty decent this year, right?
I believe they're going to show out.
Yeah,
I believe they're going to show out. You got some kids that aren't here anymore,
right?
That are excellent players.
Yep.
But they felt that they were better used, or what's the word I'm looking for? They had a better opportunity. Somewhere else.
Sure.
And that's understandable.
That's the way today's day is.
Exactly.
That's
the way football is today, or about any sport, honestly.
Yeah.
But there's enough kids there. Ian's going to be there. You got Jarrell there. You've got, you got a lot of the starting line from last year. Ridge is still there. And Kyron's still there.
Big boy.
There's some of these kids I coached through middle school too. When we
right.
For a couple of years.
Right.
And I seen them then. Some of them just come in and had never really done anything with football, but you could see it was there.
Right.
And to me, that's the thing. If you can see it's there and you can work on it, you can bring it out.
Right.
And as long as you can bring it out in the kid and keep them going, that's what you should be doing.
No, you're exactly right.
Like I said, I try at the youth age, like you're talking about, I try to tell every kid that I've coached or every kid that I will coach, if you start it, at least commit to finishing. Because that there teaches them to commit to something.
Right.
To be there.
I like that.
To do what they need to do. It teaches them a lesson through life that just because something's hard, and I've talked to many kids, just because life is hard or something is hard in your life doesn't mean you got to walk away from it.
Correct.
You got to fight through it. You got to be able to pick yourself up and continue. For instance, 2010, I think it was. We took. I started out with a bunch of kids. I didn't know what I was going to do with them.
Right.
We ended up in the championship that year. We lost by one touchdown. I mean, it was a close fought game.
It's gonna happen.
And they got their trophy and all. But I had to talk to a lot of them. I sat them down. I said, look. I said, yeah, you didn't win this one. You can't win them all.
That's right.
I said, but did you play hard? Did you give it everything you had?
And that's it right there.
As long as you give it everything you had and you can walk off that field holding your head high and say that I played as hard as I could play, you won that game.
Yep, you're a winner.
Yes, that's it.
And that's, it's funny that you say that because I know we all watch football movies. I'm a big football movie guy. I love Rudy. I love Gridiron Gang. Yep. And that what he just said sort of came from the Gridiron Gang. Their coach when he said that. You know what I mean? Hey, did you give it all you had? Of course, we didn't win this one. Hey, you're going to be winners in my book.
And you got to instill that in them.
Yeah, and that's exactly right. So let me just, for a few people that are on right now, Herb and Patsy Rodgers, that's Coach Rodgers' mom.
Right.
Yep, so you know her. D.A. Dennis Cruz is on. Yep. Tom Bailey's on from Alabama. Wendy Rosinski's on. Tom Bailey says, does Gary Wallace have a dad named Gary Wallace?
I sure do.
So he must know him then.
Senior. Yep,
okay, you do have a senior. That's your dad. Okay.
Yep,
so Tom must know you. Do you know Tom?
I don't know if I know Tom or not, but
Tom is a big Alabama fan.
Well, him and Tyler get along real well.
He is a big Alabama fan. I know you're doing it, Tom. He is a big Alabama fan, and if you ever see any of his posts, my gosh, you think he's going to jump off the Grand Canyon if Alabama takes it in the shorts or anything to do with Bama. But I love you, Tom. Hey, you know, I'm just hey, letting you know how it is. One was YFL, the other was Pop Warner. The youth league.
We are in, we're in an unlimited league.
Okay.
There's different things. Pop Warner actually went to an unlimited.
Okay.
Last I heard.
Okay.
I don't know if they're still around or doing that.
I was going to ask you that. Is Pop Warner still around?
Last I heard they were, and they had to go to an unlimited because you know kids aren't as small as they used to be.
Oh no!
They had it set up with that weight limit
Yep.
for age, and a lot of kids were they were just too big to play, and that's why you got a lot of these unlimited leagues now. The weight doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But I know there's YFL. There's I think there's what was it UFL, something like that.
Okay. So there's several of these leagues out
there's
here,
two
right?
or three leagues that but when you come like to spring, it's different because
Right.
we're unlimited and we're in a league, but it's not like a spring league.
Right.
The rules are different, the play's different, so it's just totally different thing.
Okay.
And that's why we're trying to get the kids out now because honestly, even if you bring all the 12U out, which you're talking kids that should be going into 7th grade or so.
Right.
All it's doing really is conditioning them kids for when it's time to step in at the middle school. So,
Gotcha. All right. Dave Holland's watching. How about that? There you go. Jeff Riggins is watching. My buddy, he's lives over in Brantford, McAlpin area. He's on. Shannon Smith's on. Scott Munnings, my buddy's on. And Miss Shirley Bagwell, Byron's mama's on. So she's on with us, and as she always does every Tuesday night and tuning in. Special guest tonight, Mr. Gary Wallace. He is the commissioner of the Bradford Cowboys Athletic Association. One of the coaches here, Mr. Ernie Cochran, just played football for the Tornadoes, so he's going to be able to instill a lot of his knowledge and a lot of what he went through these past years as he played football. And I hope his football career ain't over. I know we talked about a few things that he'd like to do. I love that you want to go into the service. If there's one of the things you'd like to do, I commend you for that, and I thank you for your service if you decide to do that. I like the other idea about the Naval Academy, trying to get into the Naval Academy and playing for the midshipmen. I really love that. So I know you got a lot of things that you got to think about and mull over and seeing what your plans are. I'm sure your mom and dad, everybody's going to have an influence in on that. But in the meantime, you're going to be coaching 9 and 10s, is that right? So 9 and 10-year-olds. So how many you got right out now out there? How many people do you have total right now? I know you're always looking for players.
It varies because, things come up. We average right now, and we literally, I think we started, 2 weeks ago? I think it was.
I want to say you told me this about 2 weeks ago when
Right now we're averaging about 20 to 25 kids a practice, give or take.
Okay.
And we need any kids that want to come out and play.
Okay.
Like I said, from 5 years old to 12 years old. Right now it's looking more like we're going to have either a 12U and a 10U or a 12U and an 8U.
Okay.
But I would love to have 3 or 4 teams.
Gotcha.
I'd love to be able to go into this season, and I know all the other coaches that are with us and the president and vice president, we talk a lot. I know we'd like to have more than just 1 or 2 teams, but right now, we do what we can with the community is coming out because I know basketball is going on. They've got that thing
At
the high
the school. Yeah.
where they're doing that basketball. So that kind of hurts us a little bit during spring season.
Right.
But there's a lot of kids that are sitting at home doing nothing. And that's what I'm trying to do is get them out. Because once you get them out and you get them part of something, then they get the feeling of being wanted, being part of something, you know. Like, and I tell them all the time, on this field, we don't see color. We don't talk about that. That's your brother. That man standing next to you is your brother. That girl standing next to you is your sister. We protect each other on this field. We protect each other off of this field. You see somebody out there that needs help, you help them.
Right.
You know, and that's what we're trying to instill in these kids. And the only way to do that is to get them out to the field.
Ooh.
So this might be something for the coach.
Okay.
Tackle football?
Yes, spring is tackle football. I'm glad you asked that.
Do they jump on their back while they're running, or you teach them to grab the ankles, you know, and bring them down?
Yeah.
Is there any helmets being used to spear? When I got into football, one of the things I liked was
the contact.
Contact.
Hitting people.
No, spring ball is contact, full contact, just like regular 11-man ball during the fall. The only difference is you got 8 players, which usually consist of a center, 2 guards, 2 receivers, 2 fullbacks, your quarterback.
So, like you were saying earlier, these kids aren't as small as they used to be. So,
Right.
so you got some big boys that are 9 and 10, and some little
Right.
boys that are 9 and 10. And when you got a big guy and a little guy, how's that?
The way that
Work
works,
out.
well, that's the thing. It's with the unlimited league, you play against whoever's in front of you. Now, we're not going to take no tiny kid and say, go out there and block that kid that's twice your size. You know? but in the same sense, you know, you take the kids and most of your bigger kids are going to be your center. They're going to be your 2 guards. They're going to be your D tackles.
Right.
You know, because however you want to set up your 8-man offense and defense. But your offense, like I said, is generally going to be a center and 2 guards. Yeah. So that's where your 3 big kids are going to be on that. You only have to have 14 kids to play, as to where during fall it's like 18 or 20 kids.
Yeah.
You know, and on your defense, you know, if you decide to run 3 men up front because you got 3 men up front and stick 1 off to the side, that's going to be your bigger kids. Your offside kid is going to be your faster, bigger kid. You know, that's where your fullbacks come in. Yeah. Your fullback's not going to be some little tiny kid in the backfield. Your smaller, faster, skinnier, taller, shorter kids, that's going to be your receivers. That's going to be the people you get the ball to quickly. Yeah. Your cornerbacks, your safety.
Right.
You know, that's where you're going to put them kids. So it kind of works out.
Balances itself.
Right. It's going to balance itself for the most part.
That sounds really good.
You're going to have them mismatches out there, you know, because they might have nothing but big kids, and I may have the tiniest team out there.
Well, look at the size of Hunter here. I mean, Hunter was not this big always, I'm sure, right, Hunter?
That's
I was smaller during the season.
Yeah. So, I mean, you know, you got into the weight room, you got into the condition, you got to doing the things, and you put what was your playing weight? What was your playing weight? I know it's not there right now, is it? So, are you still there? What was it, 265,
260, something like that? Around that range.
That's a pretty big lineman for us.
255, 260 during the season.
And you heard, you heard what he played at Northside. He played. You played defensive back, right? Safety? Did you say?
I played corner and wide receiver back then. I was like 170 probably.
170. He's put on 100 pounds, and it's not fat; it's muscle. And that's why, like you said, getting into the weight room and those kind of things here.
Oh, yeah, it makes a big difference.
So when you're up to a 9 or a 10-year-old, you look like a giant up against them.
Well, see, that's the funny thing, because some of them boys on this team, let's take, Jeremiah McKenzie's brother?
Oh, yeah. Does he got one coming up?
Twins.
Oh, really? Oh, boy.
Carter.
You got Carter and Caleb, and they are.
He's about as tall as me.
Yeah, they're big kids.
Wow. And he's got muscle.
They're like 12.
And he does.
Wow.
12, maybe 13.
I thought we were done with Gene's kids.
They're not Gene's. They're not Gene's, but
they're kin to
they are
Jeremiah's brothers. Okay. Yeah, I thought we was done with them, but I guess not. That's a good thing.
And they are athletes.
Okay, good.
They are athletes.
Good. Scott Munnings has a question. I've known Scott for a while. We've been in the project together. He says, Gary, is there anything my 15-year-old homeschooled can help you guys with?
Right now, we're trying to find out the age cutoff for coaches because Tyler's wanting to help coach, and he's 16. But they can definitely come out and help us with the kids if they want to learn.
I think that's
we can teach them. We can teach them how to help the kids run through practice. We always need water boys. We always need ball boys.
Chain gang.
There's times we probably have to run the chain. Like this spring season, everything will be played on one field every game.
Where do you practice at?
We are practicing right now because they just put sod and all down. We're normally at the Thomas Street field right there behind the apartments.
Okay, yep.
Okay, but they just redid that, turned it into a football field, put sod down. So right now we're practicing at RJE.
Okay.
And we're honestly, we're just basics right now. We're teaching the kids. We got a lot of kids that haven't played before, so we're teaching basics. Monday is nothing but offense. We're teaching them how to block and how to step and how to do what they need to and put their hand, get their hands up. Thursdays we're teaching nothing but defense.
Right.
And now in between that, because the Jamboree is the 29th, we got to get them together and also start teaching a few plays. But the plan is with spring, it moves so fast and there's only so many kids on the field that as long as they can block and they can tackle, you can run the simplest playbook and win games all day long.
Diane Ennis is on. Hello, Diane. Glad you could join us tonight. Byron Bagwell is on. He must be either got home or he's watching us on the way. Said, good evening, brothers, sisters, patriots, infidels, and miscreants. You already know about that. That's his famous saying. That's his famous saying. He will say that all day long. Byron, I miss you, brother. We got Gary here and Hunter. You know Hunter Cochran right here. We've said his name several times during the season. So senior this year, we're definitely going to miss him. But like we said, we were talking about the upcoming kids. So I've got a question for you. And then we'll get in on to how they can get a hold of you, all that kind of thing there. So I know when I first started, and I'll just be flat out honest with you, I had to develop myself and get a lot better. I know you got kids that come out there, let's face it, that ain't the most talented kids.
No.
And, you're going to work on them, you're going to try to develop them. And you look, he or she may never get it. So to keep a kid's spirit up, and this was a question that was asked to me, to keep a kid's spirit up that is not as talented as a player over here. How do you keep that young person interested and, like you were saying earlier, not giving up and throwing in the towel?
Well, here's what I try to do. And what it is you take that kid, and he may not, like you said, he may not ever develop into anything. And I've seen those kids, and I've seen the kids where it's taken 3 or 4 years for them to develop. Mm-hmm. And I've seen the ones that they're out there 30 days and the light comes on in their head, and that's it. Mm-hmm. The Addison boys, like he was talking about, the twins, that's what I call them, the twins. Yeah. Coaches since they were little,
Right.
And, just there's a bunch of kids I could throw names out all day long. A bunch of them's at the high school right now.
Right.
But all you got to do to keep that kid interested and keep his spirits up is keep working with him. As a matter of fact, I've got a kid right now that has never played football a day in his life. And he come up to me at practice last week. And he's not built for a wide receiver. But he said his dream is always to play wide receiver. Everybody wants to be the wide receiver, the quarterback, or the fullback.
Oh, the run back or run back or whatever. Yeah, of course. The glamour positions.
Right. And so what I did, instead of telling him you'll never be that, I said, well, son, let's work on your speed. I said, when you go home tonight, start walking on your toes. Let's work on footwork. Okay, coach, okay. And so now he's up to learning this.
Right.
He's up to doing this. And he may never be anything. He may turn out to be one of the greatest players we've had.
Right.
I don't know. But I'm willing to give him a chance and keep him around by doing the things that need to be done.
Right.
All you got to do, if you stop and listen to the kids
Right.
when they're that age, you
Yeah.
know, stop and listen to them. That's where you either make or break a football player or a baseball player or anything else.
Wouldn't it be awesome to take this little kid and years later see him play in college or
Oh, yeah.
NFL?
yeah.
Or how about
And-
even at the varsity level for the Tornadoes or whoever?
Absolutely.
Well, that's what I say. Gino Addison and I.
Mm-hmm.
I started coaching Gino when he was 5, or Ian when he was 5, and
Right.
Gino was 6. That's how long I've been coaching them kids. I remember when Gino was a little boy, he'd take that ball and he'd run all day long, you know. And when they weren't over here no more, I went and watched the game when we had an off season, you know, when Tyler wasn't playing. And they jumped the fence, come hug me, and to me that is the greatest thing ever.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Or I walk down the sidelines during a JV game or even a varsity game.
Mm-hmm.
Coach, come here.
Oh,
you
yeah.
know, and they're on the fence. They want to hug you. They want to, you know, shake your hand. They want to do the bro hug, you know, and that's the greatest feeling in the world.
I know this is a true story. You want me to tell you why? I know this is a true story because Braxton Brett has told me the same thing.
Yeah, it's
Braxton Brett has told me the same thing. Willie B's told me the same thing. All these guys have told me the same thing. They see, and man, that's got to be.
It's a great
it melts you, doesn't
It
it?
is. It does.
That is great satisfaction, and you're going to get a chance to see that too, I'm sure, while you're coaching. So I do have a second part to that question. So we're talking to the wide receiver. You know, he's
Right.
not built for a wide receiver, but you told him. So let's just say you as a coach, Hunter, and of course you're going to get guidance from the commissioner here. Let's say that this young man plays for you. Let's just say he does, and he plays for you. And you see that it's not going to work out at wide receiver. So what are you going to do in that case? I know you're going to get some guidance from here, but you personally, what would you do? Would you say, hey, maybe we need to talk with him and maybe we have something else for you? You don't want to break his heart or his spirit.
Yeah.
But that is, to me, that is the toughest job of it all.
It is.
Is like, you know, this kid wants to play wide receiver, wants to play it. You know, Connor and Gary's going to give him a chance to do it. But you just see, you know, as coaches, you know, as football players, you know, as knowing the game, just ain't working out.
Yeah.
What do you do then? What happens then? What do you do?
So in this case, it's not working out at wide receiver. I'm gonna try moving around different positions, see what he's good at.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Right.
Heck, 8-on-8, fullback.
Sure. Right.
I mean, you ain't got to be the biggest, but you also ain't got to be the smallest.
Right.
or the fastest.
Or the fastest. All
Right.
really, just run straight.
So you know you're going to tell him, you're going to sort of crush him a little bit, but not in a you're not doing it in a bad way, but he may feel that, oh, coach don't think I'm a good receiver. So how do you? I think I know what I would do, but I mean, you know, it's different for every situation. How do you handle that without saying, you know, the kid just getting pissed off at you? Torqued off at you. Let me rephrase that. Yeah, if I'm Facebook Live here, let me rephrase that. You know, throwing his dirt, sucker in the dirt, and going, Coach, man, this ain't for me anymore. But you do know that this kid, you know, in his heart he wants to play. So how do you handle that? Basically, what Hunter said.
Well, here's the thing: you can work the kid into different positions. But as a coach, and I don't expect him to get it right off the rip, but I expect him not to take long because he's got the playing experience and he's got the talking to coach experience.
Yeah. Yeah.
What you do is you got to take the kid and you got to talk to him.
Absolutely, I agree.
You got to give him guidance. And it's not, hey, look, you're not working out over there. Get off. Come on. That's not how you do it.
Right.
You know, like he said, you may be able to say, okay, hey, look, I got so-and-so, I got Joe over here. And Joe's a little faster and a little taller, and they've got some taller cornerbacks. I need to put him in over there. But I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll put you in the backfield. Like he's saying, 8-on-8, you know.
Right.
And he's already knows your routes if he's playing receiver for you.
Right.
So you give him routes out of the backfield.
Backfield.
and you throw him a little screen pass, or you throw him a 3-yard pass or a 5-yard pass. You need that first down. You hand him the ball. You're 2 yards.
Quick pitch,
or a pitch to the outside.
Yeah.
Okay, and then if that starts working out, good, great. You're developing that kid. If that doesn't work out, then you sit down again and you say, well, how about we try this?
Hike me the ball.
How about we try
Center. I mean,
and the way I've always done it, and I did it with Tyler.
Right.
I did it with Tyler, and I did it with Josh Matthews.
Okay.
I told them, and I give them reins over the offensive line.
Okay.
I said, you are the offensive line captain. You're the one that tells the whole line when to move. You're the one that gives the quarterback the ball when he wants it.
Right.
Yeah.
You are in charge. That makes them feel like
There's something.
I'm somebody.
Yeah,
I get to tell y'all what to do.
Yeah.
Or if you got that kid that you've got to just stick in somewhere, you put him in somewhere where he's got a chance to go get the ball.
When I was young, I played ball, but I never played ball with a coach.
Right.
It was just a bunch of kids playing ball.
Yeah,
So I know how to play ball. But when I started playing like young little league,
Organized ball.
I wanted to be the first base guy.
Oh, you're talking about in baseball.
Baseball.
Okay,
yeah.
baseball. Okay, yeah. Okay.
Well,
He
the
stuck
coaches-
me outfield.
I was going to say that the coaching rolls over to either. That's what I was saying about any
Yeah.
sport. In any sport, the way you treat that child, especially a younger child, that's either going to make them or break them as far as loving sports.
We're running up on the 8 o'clock hour, Dave, right here, and we still got our guest on. We still got a lot to get to, and I do want to go over some comments, and then we're going to take a commercial break, and we're gonna feed off of this and let Gary tell everybody, hey, how they can get involved, what they need to do to get involved, give out some addresses, email addresses, that kind of thing, and phone numbers. So because I know they can use all the help that they can get. So Byron says children tend to get things at different paces. Oh man, when that light comes on though, what a feeling for them and the coaches and or teachers. And that's what you were just saying. So absolutely. Mitchell Gunner's on. Good afternoon, Mitchell. I'm going to get with you here in just a little bit. Mitchell is the host for our On the Spot Motorsports media page, which they had the Gator Nationals this past weekend, which y'all all knew about. And there's some results and things on his page. Did a good job over there. I know the weather didn't cooperate, but, hey, that's just part of it, man. You can't control Mother Nature.
No.
That's for sure. Let's see. They never forget those experiences, Byron says. And Byron says, what, Gary and Hunter, do you do for agility exercises?
Usually when we start practice, what we'll do is we'll bring them out. We like to give them a lap or so to kind of just warm their muscles up. Mm-hmm. I don't push them to run as fast as you can, but we want to get them out there, get them moving, running. And then after they do their lap, we'll bring them back and we stretch them out. We do high knees, we do butt kickers, we do grass cutters, we do, all kinds of stuff.
I like all those exercises.
And
I don't know if I could do them anymore.
Yeah. I try to show drills sometimes, and I'm like, hey, come here.
Hey, come here, Hunter. Come here, Hunter. You do it. Yeah, you do it.
But we do a lot of that, a lot of stretching before we even actually get into practice, because I don't want to see anybody hurt. I've dealt with hamstrings and people, my back hurts and stuff like that, and all it is you're not stretching. And I tell the kids all the time, like if we do push-ups and stuff, and you'll see them, they're cheating in there. I say, you're cheating yourself.
The good point. Yeah.
You're cheating yourself. You put in the work, you get better, you get stronger. If you don't do it, you don't get better, you don't get stronger, and you're cheating yourself. And then in turn, you're cheating your team.
So, when I used to jumping jacks, and especially in the service, but even when I was playing football, it'd go 1, 2, 3, that's 1.
Right.
1, 2, 3, that's 2.
Yep.
And I see these guys, man, they're doing this thing. You know what I mean? And I'm like, all you're doing, like he said, is just cheating yourself, man.
And that one right there can tell you, I have stopped jumping jacks because they're off key or they're not doing right or
I like it. No, that's a good stuff. That's good stuff. Judith Young's watching. Julie Binion says, thumbs up to you guys. Byron says, run that swing motion. Yes, sir. Kelly Moore Rowland's watching. She always does. How y'all doing? Well, again, welcome in On the Spot with David Rodgers. I'm your host, David Rodgers, right along with our producer and director, the dancing destroyer himself, Dave Holland. We got Hunter Cochran here, coach of the Bradford Cowboys. 10 right now, 10 and under. 10 and under right now. 10, 9, and this will be 9 and 10 for now until you figure out what you got for kids. And, of course, I got the big commish right here, Mr. Gary Wallace here with us. All right, so I want to ask a couple of things. So, you're always needing all kinds of help, and all kinds of things here. But before we get into that, your team, who is on your team right now? I know you're the commish. Who do you have? You got you got a president, you got a vice president, you got a secretary?
Actually, we do.
Okay. Give us those names.
Willie B is the president.
Willie B still around?
Yep. He's
really?
still around.
Golly, man.
He's helping us out. DeMarcus Davis is the vice president.
Okay.
I'm the commissioner.
Right.
Brandy Addison is our treasurer.
Okay.
Brandy Bell's our secretary.
Brandy Bell's still around too,
Yes.
helping you?
Yep,
Okay.
she's still helping. I bring her kid out, Tyler Bell and them, to
Yeah.
help.
So
When I can get her to get him out there.
Yeah,
Just like
yeah.
any of these other kids, it's like, come on.
Brandy will hit
need
me
your
up
help.
every once in a while on Messenger. David, can you say this about the Cowboys? Yeah, I got you, Brandy. So I didn't know if she was still on with you.
Yes,
But
she's still hanging
Okay.
in there.
Okay.
But my wife and I think, who was it, Van? Is our Coach Van. I think he coaches at the middle school.
Okay, yep.
They're helping
Okay.
us with fundraisers and things like that. I mean, we got a good board set up.
Good.
We really do. And it's just like I said, it's volunteers for games. It's volunteers to bring your kids.
Right,
Yeah.
right. I got you.
That's what we're shooting at right now.
Well, Willie B's been around a long, long time. One of the well-known names for youth football for sure, especially with the Cowboys. And, Dave, let me tell you a funny little story. I'll tell Gary this funny too, and Cochran as well, and y'all listening audience. So my daughter was doing cheerleading. Of course, I watch cheerleading, but my wife would do more of the watching of that. But, I'd go over there and watch football players, and watch how they coached. And Willie B was a great coach. And I said something one day, and I don't know what it was. But anyway, Willie B said, hey, why don't you get down there and give me 20?
That sounds like
Well, I was like, wait a minute now. Hang on, man. I'm 35, 40, or whatever it is. He said, yeah, why don't you get down there and give me 20? And, man, I'll never forget that. And that's Willie B. But he's a great guy, very nice, and I'm glad y'all still got him around. He's still coaching too, right, a little bit?
Hey, he is the head coach at 12U this year.
Okay.
So
I got you. Jeff Riggins says, let's see how you guys do. He said, y'all will do a good job, he thinks. Ellen Disher-Williams is watching, so glad that you're on. Oh, man, I tell you, it's been a great hour so far, man. We're an hour and a little more into the show, and we've gotten a lot of information. But I want you to pump on and get the word out on how people can get a hold of you guys, what they need to put on the website, those kind of things. And, again, what you need help with. I know you need help with everything, but, and maybe in specifics on some certain things.
Well, right now, we're talking to a lady, but about coach and cheer.
Okay.
But we always need cheer coaches. Now that's for the fall.
Correct.
We definitely want to try to do cheer in the fall. So
Okay.
Put that out now. Any young ladies that want to come out, or young men that want to cheer, bring them out. The easiest way to find us and keep track of what's going on is go to the Facebook page, which is Bradford Cowboys Athletic Association. Go like that page, follow us. That we usually tend to post all of our fundraisers and things like that we do. We just did two, one this past Saturday, one 2 weeks prior to that, where we did smoked chicken dinner plates for $10 a plate. This Saturday, I think they're going to try to do a little fundraiser helmet drive thing at Tractor Supply at the red light.
Okay.
So, if anybody's out that way, stop by. You're helping out the youth. Everything we do is free. We are a non-profit organization. Nobody pockets nothing out of
Glad
it.
that you said that.
Yeah,
So-
you get a hold of Dave, and when you do things like that, and we'll
Yeah.
get it on the air.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right,
And that's
we were
why
going to do that, and then everything kind of didn't work out. But we actually did really good. The community stepped up. You know, we made good profit. We actually paid all of our fees to get in the organization through the fundraiser.
Nice. Okay.
So,
Good.
like I said, the community stepped up, and they really helped us out. But the easiest way to do that, like I said, is go to our Facebook page, like the Facebook page, follow us. We are going to try to keep everything posted on it as far as games and times, and we always need help at any games, concessions. We need people to work gates. We need people to just make sure things run smooth. At this point, if some people want to come out and just kind of walk the field and that's going to be more during the fall, like I said, because the spring games actually be played all in Jacksonville.
Right.
So, but during the fall, we have home games.
Right.
So we use all the help we can get, and if you want to volunteer just one Saturday, hey, that's help. If you want to come out and volunteer for the whole season, we need people to run the grill. We need people to help sell the.
You need a grill master?
We always need people on the grill.
No, I like the grill.
Hey.
You
we
know
cook
who
a lot
else
of
likes the
hamburgers and
grill?
hot dogs.
Yeah, I like that too.
Hey.
I used to be like you were, part of the booster program, band boosters and all that. Hey, I used to be out there doing Hey, every time I pull up to the game, there's Gary, man. He's over there doing some fries or hamburgers or doing something back there. I remember those days. I'm going to tell you what, that was some of the funnest times I ever had. I know it's work. I know it's hard. I know y'all had a blast, and we did too. Man, especially the after parties. I can't get into that on the air here, but oh man, those were some fun times. I could tell you some stories. I'll just flip a lid, but yeah, absolutely. And Byron can cook too, so we may get Byron out there.
Hey.
Maybe we'll get Dave to film it all and put it all out here on the spot page or whatever social media site we can get on YouTube, because of course this show will be on YouTube as well. And Dave's got it right up there. Just go to On the Spot with David Rodgers, hit the like and subscribe button right there. Boom, you'll get notified anytime we come on with a show. We try to do our show every Tuesday at 7 o'clock. Some things sometimes comes up. And, of course, the On the Spot Motorsports Media page, which Mitchell does, that comes on Thursday nights at 7. But he's going to be in and out and doing some things, probably coincide with us on some Tuesdays, because, this is racing season.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, everybody's about the racing. So this is busy time for him, but he's done a good job with us as well. Lisa Moody Tomlinson's watching. Hello, Lisa. How are you? I hope you're feeling better, by the way. Amy Lewis is watching. Dylan Rogers is watching. Liz Tillery Holland's watching. No, Liz?
Yeah.
I bet, yeah.
I
She
know
cooks
that
good
girl.
food, don't she?
She's a great.
Oh, I know she is. I need to get an invite to dinner one night is what I need.
Well, we'll make that happen.
We'll make that happen. Oh, yeah, because I've seen some stuff that she's posted, and oh, my goodness gracious.
Yum, yum.
Yeah. I think one of the most important things about coaching young ones is teaching them the right way to tackle. That way they save themselves from getting injured as they get older. Technique is very important. Technique is technique, he said. And I definitely agree with that. And I think you and Hunter hit on that quite a bit there.
Right.
Yeah. You were talking about the steering with the helmet, but you were bringing in like a scenario. You don't want them to do that.
No.
So absolutely, I definitely agree.
So, do they play on a actual 100-yard
Yes.
or?
Yes.
Field?
In the spring, I'm not sure. They shorten, if I remember. I've been gone a little bit, so I'm.
Yeah. By the way, Gary's just getting back into this. Yeah, absolutely.
I had some health issues and had to step away for a little bit, but I'm just getting back into it and trying to refresh my mind. But I want to say in the fall they shorten the 6U field, but I'm not sure if they do that in the spring. I would think they probably would. They probably shorten it, but I'm not 100%. But I can tell you 8, 10, and 12 play a 100-yard field.
Do you guys have field goal kickers?
No.
Straight 2 points.
No, you basically you throw it, run it, whatever you're
Going for two, David. Going for two.
Picturing a 10-year-old trying to do.
Or is it actually 1 point? Yeah, for a certain. Yeah.
If I remember correctly, if you run it in or throw it in, it's a point. But if you actually have a kicker, it's 2 points. Because at that age, it's harder to have somebody that can hit that field goal. So that it's crazy the way it works. But you got to start training them young.
Well, you do.
Give them a chance. Get out there and kick.
Yeah, Lisa, I agree. I'm glad you're doing better. The pollen's getting you now, and it's getting me too, man. I'm just, as we were sitting here talking, I can feel it coming right. You got sinus issues?
My eyes.
Your eyes too? Okay. You don't have any? So you're still young, man.
Young buck.
That's that young, man. See, look, Dave, if I had his looks and his young stamina, you know what? I'd be the king of the world, man. At least for one day.
I say that all the time.
Yeah, for me playing football, I get up and I'm creaking. So
yeah,
football aged me.
I'm sure it has.
If only I knew then what I know.
Of course, and that's what we all say, man. And that's exactly right. Because hey, after today, you don't get today back.
No,
this is done. Today, after this, this part is gone. Now we got to look toward tomorrow. And, that's the thing about time, man. My dad told me after 25, hey, man, days are going to click by. And that's exactly what it's done. Hey, 25 has become 63 next month for me. That is just absolutely crazy. Yeah. That is probably, I know you're still a young man, you're still in school, but, I tell all these young people, I'm like, and I know you do too, Gary, don't rush things.
No.
Don't rush. This is your time. This is the best time of your life right here, maybe with the exception of college. I understand and get it. But as far as up till now, it's the best time of your life.
Yeah.
And this is it. And like you said, because I hear these kids all the time, David. And I know Gary and Hunter hears it too. Man, I can't wait till school's out, man. I'm skipping class. I'm doing this and I'm doing that. And guess what? You can go ahead and do that, but you're not getting what's happened at school back ever again. You're not going to get that day back. And that's just the flat out honest truth. Everybody lives it each and every day. Once time goes, time goes. Yep. Like I said, can we relive it through watching something else? Absolutely, we can. But it's not going to be the same time, the same hour, the same liveliness. It's not going to be that anymore. And that's why I was like, I know you're coming up on graduation here soon, man. A couple of months now? So March, April, May, right? I mean, a couple of months. You got prom next month, and it's grad bash. Man, enjoy all those things, man, because I'm telling you, even for me, even I was still involved, but I wish I would have been involved in more things. I wish I would have, contributed a little more than what I did as well. So, but then again, you talk about it with your old classmates. It's too late now.
Yeah.
It's too late now, so you got to create something else. But one more time, shout out on the address, and if there's any numbers or anything you want to give before I'll let you guys go.
I can give you the president's phone number and the vice president.
Okay, and the president is
Willie B.
Yep.
Coach Brown.
Coach Brown, as we say.
Know him.
Yep.
He's been around for a while. So
yes, he has. God, as long as I can remember, bro.
Oh yeah. Yeah, if you want to contact the president, the phone number's 904-861-4759. Or our vice president, which is DeMarcus. And his number is 352-256-0359. Or you can contact myself. It's 904-769-9495. If you have any questions, want to volunteer, just talk to somebody, a question about bringing your kid out, whatever it may be. Like I said, if you want to, go follow our Facebook page. You get a lot of information off of there. That's Bradford County, or Bradford Cowboy Athletic Association on Facebook. And that's about it. I mean.
Yep, and like you said, you're looking for all kinds of help. You'll take anything that you can get.
Anybody wants to come help.
And also you can contact us on the spot, 32091@gmail.com if you have something from him, and I'll get it forwarded via Dave and Byron. We'll get it forwarded to Gary and to Hunter or whoever needs it. We'll get that information for you. That's on the spot right there. ep32091@gmail.com. You can reach us there, or you can hit me up on my messenger. I'm sure as you can hit him up as well, Hunter as well, and or our Facebook page. And again, this show, you can put a comment here. Like, see, one good thing about this, a Facebook Live podcast is once this is done, that you can go back home and watch this now. You can go back and critique yourself. Oh, what did I do wrong? What did Dave do wrong? What did Gary do? What did Dave? You can do that, and that's a good thing because we always do that.
Oh, yeah.
But you can go back and watch this. And Dave, we've seen this before where people had comments after they watched that replay.
Mm-hmm.
And we were like, whoa, man, I wish they'd have hit us up, on the Gmail or whatever. But sometimes you'll have to go back because we hit a like, or Byron is really good at that, hitting a like or a heart or whatever, or answering or reply. And, sometimes we don't find that until after we watch that replay. So, and then we'll catch it on YouTube as well. So this will be on YouTube tomorrow night. Austin Stevens does a wonderful job for us. Downloaded to YouTube. He's gotten a lot quicker with it, Dave. But by Wednesday night at 7 o'clock, this show will be on YouTube as well. 321 episodes. Can you believe that?
Wow.
321 episodes, and we've taken some time off. That is just absolutely crazy on how many episodes. This is our 8th year going on our 9th, right? Or 9th going on 10, Dave?
September 18th, we start our 9th year.
Yeah, so we're into our 8th year right now, and we've got 321 episodes in, and that's just we were doing it twice a week. Now we're doing it once a week. And then again, if we're not feeling well or something, we usually miss a show. So we could probably be anywhere into the 340s, 345 range. Who the heck knows, man? But
wait until we get to 500 episodes.
Yeah, and that's we're gonna do something big there. Maybe we'll have a barbecue or something, Dave.
Oh, there you go.
We can have a barbecue. You got me? Okay, you got me? Okay. So we'll do a show. We can talk about cowboy football, and we can talk, I don't know if Hunter will be. He may be playing for the Naval Academy by then.
He might
So,
be.
who knows? So, a quick word to everybody that's watching. I know you probably got somebody's watching. If you want to give a shout out to anybody and what you think about what Gary and you guys are doing.
Well, I think we got a, like he said, good group of kids.
Yep.
I like what we got going on.
Yep.
Mainly, because I'm the lineman coach.
Mm-hmm.
We got a lot of big boys.
Right.
A lot of boys who can hit pretty hard for
Yep.
their age.
Right.
And back to the agility thing, I brought some stuff that I learned from the high school with the step drills and offensive line drills and stuff like that. So hopefully we'll get far into the season to where by the time they get older, they'll already know everything there is to know.
Right. Yep. And you just got to learn what the coach is going to instill as far as plays and things like that. Yep. So they'll already know the basics. So Melissa Cribbs is watching there. Melissa. Glenn Reeder's watching. Patricia Portis is watching. So glad that y'all can join us tonight on the spot with David Rodgers. And we're running up on the 8:20 hour. Guys, I really want to thank y'all guys for coming in and talking about this. We need to keep this up a little bit. I know me and you've talked and we let it slip a little bit, but we need to keep this in the eye of the public.
Yes.
And maybe every other month or every month or something, where maybe a show, and y'all can just come in and we can talk because ladies and gentlemen, this just don't happen by accident. You got to have people that are dedicated and willing to work at it. You got to have funds. Funds drives everything, right?
Yes, it does.
Unfortunately, you have to have funds. So, any kind of drive or anything that you can get involved with, some kind of charity event or whatever the case may be, fundraiser, sponsors, there you go. I'm sure y'all are working on that. You'll probably put a crew together for that. So any help that you can give these guys, this is a great thing. This is a great thing for our youth. We need it. We got too many young people either on this and they're on it all night playing some kind of video games, or they're doing something on here they shouldn't be doing, and I won't even get into those things, or they're just being lazy, and it's just the way that our kids are built now. I mean, hey, when I was growing up, hey, my mama said, see you at lunchtime. Hey, man, I go play till lunch. This is in the summer.
That's it.
All right, I come home for lunch. All right, I'll see you at dinner time or towards dark. And, man, I stayed outside.
Yeah. What was AC?
Huh?
What was AC back then?
Oh, the water hose. The water hose. The water hose in the wind. The water hose. We play baseball or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, drowns up. Hey, that's how you cooled off. But those were the good old days. And I know times have changed. I know things have progressed. I understand that. But I'm with Gary, and one thing that resonates with me that he said is he's trying to get these kids up off the couch, trying to get them involved in something, trying to get them something to do. And we need more of that. And if this is one of the ways that at least started here, that's what we need to do. And anybody that's interested in doing a fundraiser for them, helping out with a fundraiser, helping out at the field or anything, or if you want to be a sponsor, he gave you the information to put that on, or you can hit us right here on the spot, 32091@gmail.com. I'm sure they'll take anything that they can get. That's for sure. I know I would, and I know who you are, I know how y'all are, and I would as well. So definitely hit these guys up. Keep me in your prayers. I'm home from the hospital from having a back double nerve burning and hurting. Ooh, surgery. That's Melissa Cribbs. Yeah, we will. Yeah, we'll say an extra prayer for you for sure. Melissa always involved in getting some things done for football too, and you know, in the community and helping out with some of the events that we got going on out there. So definitely we'll keep you in our prayers. So Dave, let's take a quick commercial break. Don't go anywhere, guys. We'll be right back, and then we'll finish closing up the show. How about that, Dave?
Hey Tornado fans, this is Kurt Miracle of Miracle Automotive and Towing, proud sponsors of Tornado Football. I want to welcome you to beautiful Stark, Florida at David Hurst Stadium, and thank you for letting us be a part of this community. We're here for more than your automotive and towing needs. We're here to be part of Tornado Country. Go Big Red!
David Rodgers, right along with the Dancing Destroyer himself, Super Dave Holland. Say hello, David, to everybody.
Hello. Great show tonight, Dave.
Yeah, you know, and it's funny that because me, you, Byron, Mitchell, we all talk about, you know, how our shows go, what our shows are about, what we do. And it's always great, David, when we have a guest on. And it doesn't matter what part of it is because there's always some kind of entertainment value in it. You know, when we have Gordon on, or we have Cat on, or when we have Jeff Johnson on, or when we have like a Gary Wallace on, you know, Dan, whoever, there's entertainment value in there because there's always a perspective that we can talk about. You know what I mean? Yeah. That ain't always the same. We were talking about youth football here. You know what I mean?
Hey.
With Gordon, we talk about law enforcement. We talk about politics. And, you know, it varies. It gives us a variation on the things that we can do. And, you know, I think we need to keep that diversity. I know that we've talked about doing some different things, but, you know, all going all sports and all that. But I think we just need to do a little bit of everything. And it seems to be reaching people and keeping people involved, especially local people. Yeah. That they love the local news. They love to get into that. They love to hear what's going on locally. And, you know, Dave, that was a great show tonight. I thought Gary and Hunter did a wonderful job. You know, you just had a tornado that, you know, has been on the team for 4 years playing varsity and going 36-5, man. Who does that? There ain't too many programs in the state that's doing that. And you've only gotten beat by 3 different teams. That's it. In a 3.5-year span. That's why Tornado Football is a brand now. It is known nationally. Told you about the deal in Ohio. Yeah. Right? You remember that, hey, my buddy was going in there, and there was a couple talking about Bradford Tornado Football. Who are these guys? They're ranked 75th in the country. It's a brand. Yeah. It's known in the region. It's definitely known in the state. Yeah. You know what I mean? And it starts
right there,
right here with these coaches and these guys mentoring those young men to become good people and good football players, and it just keeps going to the next level, to the middle school level, to the JV level, to the varsity level.
Absolutely.
And here we are. So again, I want to thank Gary and Hunter for coming on. Again, it's about let's call it 8:30 right now. So I want to wrap up the show here in just a few minutes, David. But I want Byron to get back before I get into some other things. I've got a lot of political stuff that I really wanted to get into tonight, but I'm gonna excuse me. I'm gonna wait for Byron to get back with us. But excuse me. I do want to hit on a couple of things. First and foremost, David, did you watch? And I think I don't know if I called you or not. Did you watch the president as he was giving that speech that night? So I want to get into this just a little bit because, first and foremost, I'm a people person. I want to. I want to treat everybody fair. I want to be treated like I would treat somebody else. That's the way I like doing things. And, at the end of the day, we are humans. We are human beings. We're supposed to be brothers and sisters. We're supposed to be our brother's keepers. When somebody's in trouble, you're supposed to help them out. That's the way it's supposed to be. The problem is, in today's time, day and time, that doesn't happen too much anymore, and it's become so prevalent and so bad now that it's a political divide. It's about politics. Are you on the left or you're on the right? There ain't really nobody in the middle anymore. So we bring politics into everything that we do. And I was talking to Byron a little bit about this, and sometimes. That's not the way to handle problems. You got to use, and I've heard the president use this, and I've heard several of our other leaders use, you got to use common sense at the end of the day. Look, just because you don't like this person or that person doesn't mean that person is going to do a good job for you, or he's not going to treat you fairly, or he's going to say this about you or that about you. I'm really tired of the political rhetoric from both sides, really, even though me and Byron tend to seem to be, we're conservative, and there's no problem there. But I'm just tired of bringing human issues with political backgrounds. And that is absolutely disturbing to me. I don't get it. And I want to bring up several incidents that happened. And well, first and foremost, it started with when the president walked in. Of course, the Republicans in the House there, they stood up and clapped. Just a couple of Democrats stood up during the whole night. But it just shows me how immature and acting that they are. And they were holding up these signs and, Elon's lying, this and that. And, as the president was making a speech, and he invited several special people there. And, he was, trying to, Donald Trump is a personable man. He loves people. Donald Trump don't need to do this job. He don't have to be president. He could have told us, man, to go pound sand, man. He's got enough money. He can take care of his family for forever. Elon Musk, the richest man in the world, he can do the same thing. Why are these guys doing what they're doing? Because we need to see and open up that little telescope, that's tunnel vision, and open it up wide. They are trying to help the American people. They are trying to make this country like it was and like it should be. I think there's steps going in that direction, but I think there's also a lot of backlash on other things that are being done as well, and it shouldn't be that way. Again, prime example of that speech. I mean, again, we're supposed to be humans, and we're supposed to have human senses and feel sad and hurt at times, and and feel sadness and gladness. I mean, that's human traits and human nature. But when that 13-year-old boy, David, with the brain cancer,
Wow.
and his dad was there, and he got that Secret Service award, and that Secret Service agent brought that to him, he gave that man the biggest hug in the world, and he basically told him he loved him. He says, I love you. And he gave the heart sign and all that.
Showed the badge.
Showed the badge. He was so proud. I almost cried watching that. I was almost in tears. And I'm a grown man. But grown men cry, right? They do. I have. Grown men cry. And
The older we get, the more sensitive we get, too.
Yeah, and to me, if that did not touch you or did not resonate with you in any way, to me, you are cold and heartless. And I just cannot believe that the left, the Democratic Party, except for two people, and now one of them they're chastising the mess out of. I think she switched parties, but stood up, didn't stand up for this. They didn't stand up for anything. Nothing. They didn't stand up for anything at all. But to not stand up for a 13-year-old kid, I want to ask you, what does that tell the American people? Looking at us as a whole now, not looking at it through a political lens, but as a whole, as a person, what do they think about you? They could give two rats' asses about you. They don't care about you. That shows to me that they don't care what the administration is trying to do. They're about their own political advantages and what they can get, and they don't care about the American people. Because if you can't stand for a 13-year-old kid that's had 30-some brain surgeries, and you can't give him an ovation, you can't stand it all, and you got these sourpuss looks on your face, that tells me right there, and shows me that how can they care about you as a person, as a person that lives here in the United States of America? How can you tell me that they care about you? There is no way on God's green earth that somebody can sit here and tell me in their rightful mind that that was okay and not have a heart. Like I said, I almost cried, but that was just pure. Okay, the president did say when he was starting the speech, hey, I can't win them over. You know what I mean? No matter what I say, no matter what I do, no matter what I sit up here and preach, I'm not going to make them happy. He's not going to make them happy. He knows that. That's a foregone conclusion.
Yeah.
But he did say, y'all at least could stand for the guests that we brought in here tonight and the people that we're trying to, honor. And they didn't stand for nothing. And, we had the girl that got killed at the University of Georgia. Her mom and the sister was there. What a sad and tragic thing that happened there. Killed by an illegal that should have never been here and murdered that girl. And he had her up there, and they did the, I can't think of her name. Somebody help me out on the comments there. I can't think of her name. Lily Rakin or something. Rayleigh
sister,
Rakin.
right?
Yes, it was a sister that got killed, but the other sister was there with her mama.
Right.
And they passed that act. Everybody's applauding, but the left didn't applaud nothing. They didn't. Two people, like I said, they didn't say anything. It's just unmoral not to do that. And then the slain police officer, she was there, and they didn't stand up and acknowledge. They didn't stand up and do anything. You know what I mean? To that just tells me that they don't care about the American people. And Byron,
There's no honor in that group.
Byron says it's called civility. Yeah, that's exactly right. We have people that care only about power and money. That was despicable. Shirley said they showed that they didn't care. There are no words to describe their behavior. Shirley, do you hear me struggling a little bit? I am struggling, and I don't want to say anything out of character, because, Facebook is Facebook, social media is social media, and if you say something that's they deem to be derogatory, they'll shut this thing off. So I'm trying to keep it as civil as I can. But that was
everybody knows. They see.
Well, and that's the thing right there. Everybody knows. And all right, Mitchell, you got to get back to work. Yes, there is evil. Yes, there is. Mitchell, what kind of work you got to get back to? On the Spot Motorsports page. Mitchell, I'll promote the page. You got a show Tuesday night before you go? I think you do. I think you have a guest coming on Thursday night. So I'll push that here in a little bit. But, that right there just rubbed me the wrong way. And if you're any kind of human being, again, take politics out of this for a minute and use common sense, David. That was just absolutely ridiculous. I mean, where has humanity gone? Where has caring about people gone? So I want to bring you to something. Byron, help me out here a little bit if you want to, if you can. Let me just say this. Okay. This may be apples to apples, and it could be apples to oranges, but I'll just throw something at you. Okay. Let's just say I won $1 billion in a lotto. Okay? That would be like me winning $1 billion, and I want to do something to help people. Let's say, as I do, live in Bradford County. If you can come to me, maybe I'll put a table out there, you can come to me and show me your electric bill, I'll pay it for you. Just to give back to the community. I'll pay your electric bill. But also, I could also say, if I was inhuman, and say, hey, only the Republicans can come. Only the registered Republicans can come. I don't care about anybody that's registered Democrats. What would that tell? What would that show about me?
The same thing.
Same thing. It really is almost apples to apples. I know it's apples to oranges in comparison a little bit, but that would be me saying that. No, I don't care. You're coming to me because I want to pay your electric bill. I don't care if you're a Democrat, you're part of the Whig Party, you're part of Greenpeace, you're part of the Republican Party, you're part of the Independent Party. I don't care. I didn't ask you that. I am looking, even though I may know that you tend to lean that way, I still look at you as a human being.
I was going to say, there's still a moral scale that we all should look at.
Yeah.
Where was the morality?
There was none, and that's what Shirley was saying. That mess should have guaranteed them almost no voters, and he's right. It should. And Byron says, yes, you can. I'll take a bass boat. I bet you will, and I'll buy you one. But see, I don't look at it as that. I could easily say, hey, all I want is just my conservative constituents to come up. What would that make me look like? Just like them, right? Boy, wait, would they blast me on this? They would blast the mess out of me. That billionaire, that stuck up, that blah, blah, he's only taking care of his own. No, I don't do that. That's just like, look, we all have Democratic friends. You know what I'm saying? That believe in what they're doing over on the left. That's fine. You know what I'm saying? We can tend to disagree politically, but at the end of the day, how many times have I said, hey, where are we going to go eat? We can go eat. We can hang out with each other. And that's the thing that's not happening in today's day. It is a political divide, and it doesn't matter what you do. You can go to dinner, still political. You can go to the movies, still political, because somebody don't like this one. It's political, and it has been that way, David, for many, many years, and the gap is not closing. As a matter of fact, and Byron, you tell me if I'm wrong, to me it's widening.
I agree with that.
Yeah, to me it's widening it. Let's see. Leave the socialists, communists, and Marxists out of that. Yeah, take lots of laughs. We all know you want a bass boat. Yeah, okay. This Thursday, Mitchell says, with Braden Davis. He made his NHRA debut at the NHRA Gator Nationals in the Pro Stop motorcycle class. Wow. So that's who we'll have on as a guest. That show's on Thursday night at 7 o'clock. Mitchell, Gunner, and Robert, they will be hosting, and ought to be a good show. By the way, Mitchell, I do, excuse me. See, the sinuses, they're starting to bother me. Hang on just a second. But anyway, Mitchell did a good job out there for what he could. He got rained out on Saturday, pretty much. And then it rained off and on Sunday. So I know they didn't, Mitchell, I don't think they got it all in. I think, if I'm not mistaken, they have to finish that at another track, at another event. Mitchell, am I wrong about that? That is what I heard, and that's what I read, and that's what I seen on a motorsports show that I was watching Sunday. So, Mitchell, if you're still on, is that true? I think y'all didn't get all of it in, right? And they have to go to it now to another track and finish that, and then I guess go on to that next event. But I'll let Mitchell clarify me on that. But yeah, so I'm just tired of this whole thing. You know, the thing with Elon Musk. Come on, hey, they were all for the electric cars. Remember, the left? It was all about the electric cars, all about the Tesla, all about this and that. Now, because Elon Musk is head of DOGE,
friends with Trump,
now they've turned their back on him. Now he's an a-hole. Now they don't like him. Now they want to burn down his dealerships. Now they want to mark up all his Teslas. They want to do this and do that. Really? Why? Because you hate somebody that bad, David. I understand that Trump has his quirks. And I think he'll tell you he has his quirks. But do you hate somebody that bad that you just got to just keep bashing them and calling for their jobs, calling for their heads? Elon Musk, same way. Are you absolutely kidding me? Is this what we've come to? Is this what this great nation has come to? Mitchell said, Dwight, man, what's up, my brother? He said pro class is only finished. So they're going to have to finish it at another track, right, Mitchell? I think is what I've seen. So, but anyway, it's just, I just don't get it. You know, everybody's hurting in their pocketbook. They want to talk about that, right? Oh, prices of eggs, prices of milk, prices of produce, this and that. And then when they're trying to fix it, trying to figure out how we can get more money in people's pockets, more money for the American citizen and the American worker, and then they bash it. That just don't make no sense to me, David. Can you put any kind of sense? It just makes no sense to me. I don't get it. Is it that much hatred?
I'm not designed that way.
I'm not either. That's my thing. You know, I've sat here and told you, and I've been transparent about this when Nicole was on. And Milton and Danny B. When they were on, we talked about our book, by the way. Need to go purchase our book, and we'll hit that in a little bit here. But look, you know, I said I'm transparent with you guys. I don't care if you're black, white, green, blue, orange, if you're Democrat, Republican. We can agree to disagree. You know what I mean? And agree to disagree or whatever, however that saying is. And I'm so dadgum flustered now. But anyway, you know what I'm saying? And I can still be your friend. I still love you as a person. This is where God has been taken out of this great country. We need God back in this great country. We need God back in our schools. We need God back in everything that we do, because I'll tell you right now, the devil's running this world, and you know, it seems to be taking over, and us that believe in God and that believe that, you know, in Christianity, it's overtaken us, and I just don't see how the few can override the majority, and that's the way it seems to be. One thing I will say, me and Byron has talked about this, David. I'll tell you, and I've talked to you about this. one thing I will say about the Democrats, and you know what that is? Even though they're absolutely wrong, they're absolutely out of their head, they're absolutely out of their mind, they stick together. Whether it's right or wrong, they'll stick together.
Yeah.
And I wish we would show that unity with the Conservative Party as well. They need to do the same things. And I think if we did that and then become united as a united front, I think it would make things a lot better. Let's see.
It's a shame because we need the Democrat Party to become part of what this country is built on.
Right.
It is a, three-party system, and we grow with not only just the Republican vote, but also the Democratic vote.
Sure it does. Sure it does. That's why the Congress and the Senate is built that way. That's why you have some Democrats. That's why you have Republicans. I understand you got majorities in both those houses, but still, you are supposed, again, we may not agree on everything, but if you don't agree, at least let's talk about it. Let's figure out the compromise. You know, I've heard that word used today. Figure out the compromise of what we're going to do.
Well, agreeing is agreeing, and if you don't agree because you're part of a party, that's
my problem.
That's not right.
No, and that's my problem. And that's my problem with this whole thing. And I'm glad you said that. Let's see. Kerry Groves is watching. Byron said because they are following a playbook, tell a lie long enough and it becomes the truth. Absolutely.
Well,
yep, people tend to believe it. Yes, sportsman classes will finish at different tracks over the next few months. So, hey, I did get something right. Mitchell, I did watch a little something, brother. So, but anyway, that's what I thought. They stick together like a bunch of maggots on the garbage bag. Yeah, no, that's true. That's true. And again, I'll give it to them. Whether it's right, wrong, indifferent, doesn't matter who it hurts, doesn't matter who it affects, they stick together. Did you see him? No, that was Mitchell, actually, that said that. Hey, you want me to tell you what the proof was? In that speech last week. Mm-hmm. In that speech. Mm. It showed it. Hey, okay, two of them did have a little heart to them. You know what I'm saying? Listen, the rest of them stuck as a group, held up their signs as a group, walked out as a group. And we know it was wrong. We know it was flat out wrong. That was flat out a disgrace. But you know what? I'll give them an A+ on this. They stuck together.
I wonder what the rest of the world was thinking.
Huh. Well, yeah, that's a great question. You know, Trump is respected all around the world. You know what I'm saying? There's some countries that like him. There's some countries that don't like him. And, I'm sure that they probably looked at us and go, man, that president ain't getting no kind of respect. He can't even, keep his own house, from turning on him. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And that's, if I didn't know anything about U.S. politics or anything in regards to the U.S. and how it was run, that's what the first thing I would see if I was watching that across C-SPAN, whatever the case may be, I would go, ooh, something's wrong.
I'm not going to America.
Well, yeah, I'm not going. Yeah, something ain't right here. And that's the way that the world views us. And the people that do know us and the people that do know our background probably is going, my gosh, we respect him as a leader, but man, he's got his own problems in-house. And that's a shame because he didn't create it. You know what I mean? He inherited the problem. And that's the problem. So, whether you believe it or not, and I don't know how many people are watching that's of an opposite opinion, and hey, that's okay. I'd love to hear your opinion if you're opposite of what I'm saying. And again, we'll talk it out, and we may not agree, but guess what? We're going to move on, and we're going to talk about something else. But I'd like to know how many of these world leaders have. What's the word I'm trying to use? I don't want to get. How many of these world leaders knew that Joe Biden drove this into the ground, or did they care because they were getting kickbacks? They were getting extra money. Trump left this in great hands. All he told Biden to do was just take it and run with it and make it better. And he didn't. They ran it into the ground, bro. When you run something into the ground, man, it's hard to replant it, isn't it? When it's all the way into the ground, it's hard to forget it to plant back. That's for sure. So, anyway, that's my little spiel for tonight, brother. It's right around 10 minutes till 9 Eastern time here. We are on daylight savings time, so don't forget that. Boy, that messed me up, David. I was going to call you Sunday. I did talk to Brian for a minute. I know Mitchell was out at the track. It had to mess him up too, but
It messed me up.
it messed me up bad. And I'm like, ooh, wait a minute. And I hadn't set my clocks because I fell asleep. So I didn't get a chance to set my clocks, with the exception of the phone. You know, they automatically do it. But I forgot to set any of the clocks, and I woke up and I'm like, hey, man, it's 5 o'clock. No, it ain't. It's 6 o'clock.
Yeah. I usually catch it the night before and ready, but I never even heard about it.
Yeah, and that's the other thing. You know, when did people all of a sudden know? I mean, okay, so you look at your phone, you know, are you really looking at the time? Yeah, the time comes up, David, but are you really? No, you're going to see who called you, and you're not really thinking about the time. You know what I'm saying? So unless you just really were looking for it, I bet you some people didn't realize it until probably, midday or early afternoon? Oh, gosh, hey, I just lost an hour.
Well,
Yeah.
I think, probably watching the news or something, and they said something on, this is the 6 o'clock news, and what?
Yeah, and you look at what? No, it's the 5 o'clock news. Because it messed me up too. I'm starting to get used to it a little bit, David. I'll tell you one thing I do like about this, and me and Byron talked about this. We've all talked about it. I tell you one thing I do like about this is that, you know, I can come home and I can cut my grass. I can weed eat. There's plenty of daylight, and I can do those kind of things, do some yard work, help Miss Shirley out or Byron or whoever, you or whatever. There's time to do that, and it doesn't always have to tie up your weekends. I like that because generally you used to have to do that on the weekend. You know what I mean? Because it'd get dark sort of, especially if you're doing something in the yard or some kind of project outside. But now, you know, it stays lighter longer. Now you can take care of those projects and you don't have to ruin your weekends. Me and Shelly was actually talking about this, and I said, you know what? That makes perfect sense. So, you know, see you later, Mitchell. Have a good one, brother.
Later, Mitchell.
But anyway, great show tonight, David.
Great show.
I want to thank Gary Wallace and Hunter Cochran for coming on, talking about Bradford Cowboy football. He gave you all the addresses, the numbers, and everything, and Dave's ran them across the lower thirds for most of the night. So I want to say thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you for what you do for our show. Please share it with whoever you see fit that may need it. All they got to do is what, David? Go to the page, hit the like button, and subscribe, and you're on the Spot with David Rodgers show. And then also you can hit the On the Spot Motorsports Media page as well. And if you're into motor racing of any sort, Mitchell covers it all. Mitchell and Robert covers it all. So make sure you tune into them Thursday night at 7 o'clock. David, you got any parting words?
Just hope it dries up a little bit.
Yeah, I was thinking about that too. Mine looks like a leg too. So, again, I forgot to do the weather, Dave, but I'm not going to worry about that. We'll put the weather up somewhere there for everybody. Sorry about that, Austin. We got a little carried away there. On behalf of the Miss and Byron Bagwell, Mr. Austin Stevens, the Dancer Destroyer himself, Dave Holland, who is in-house, and myself, David Rodgers, God bless you guys. Have a great evening, have a great rest of the week, and have a great weekend. See you next time. Peace.